Hello, and thank you for your interest in Personal Data Security, or PDS. This video will demonstrate how to install PDS to your desktop. After watching this video, you will know how to securely install PDS on Mac, Windows, and Linux, as well as other Unix-like operating systems. We chose to demonstrate the installation of PDS on Mac as currently Mac requires several additional steps. In addition to installing PDS to a desktop, you may also install PDS to a USB drive, and using just that one USB installation, you can securely access your confidential information on any of the available operating systems. PDS has this flexibility because it is a Swing application. Swing is a Java toolkit. Together, Java provides the write once, run anywhere capability, and Swing provides the native look and feel of the operating system on which it's running. So when you run PDS on Mac, PDS looks and feels like a Mac application. And on Windows or Linux, PDS looks and feels like a Windows or Linux application. And the same executable provides both these features. Now, if you heard me say Java, and you instinctively thought, no way, it's a giant security hole, you're not alone. Though there have been many the sky is falling reports about Java, digging into the details typically points to one application, the browser plugin. Oracle then reinforces this by frequently referring to the plugin as Java. So because of one security-flawed application, many people believe that the entire Java ecosphere is insecure. If this was anywhere near true, then the largest businesses in the world today wouldn't rely upon Java. Truth be told, you're probably using Java every day and not even knowing it. As modern browsers support HTML5, browser plugins are rapidly becoming remnants of the past. Even Oracle has announced that they will be deprecating the browser plugin in version 9. And during the transition period we're in now, where support for plugins is removed from browsers, intuitive GUIs provide the ability to manage the plugins, extensions, and add-ons that run via the browser. As your security is very important to us, we will demonstrate how easy it is to secure the browser plugin on your desktop, and in so doing, prevent the overwhelming majority of security concerns with Java. As with Windows and Linux, the first step in the process will be to download and install the latest Java Runtime Environment, or JRE, from Oracle. To do that, we will need to open a browser and visit java.com. Once on the landing page, select the red Download button. On the next page, again select the red button, this time to agree with the EULA, and begin the download. When the download completes, navigate to the Downloads folder and select the file containing the JRE. When the package opens, click the Java box in the dialog, then select Open, provide administrator credentials, and complete the installation. Your browser will then open a new page that will allow you to run an applet via the plugin to verify the installation. In selecting the Verify button and then refreshing the page, you can see that Safari did not enable the applet plugin. Further, it indicates that you may enable the applet plugin via the security preferences. As another example of security that Safari provides, we'll again select the red button and this time try and run the applet. Again, Safari helps and seems to be prompting us to run the applet once, every time, or to cancel. Certain browsers provide the interface that manages plugins. Safari is one of those. To configure the Java applet plugin within Safari, navigate to Safari Preferences and then select the Security tab and then select the plugin settings. On the right side of the Plugin Settings dialog, you may control the use of the plugin on a per-domain basis. The top part is for currently open domains as well as configured domains, while the lower part is for all other domains. If you want to disable this plugin for all domains, the left side of the dialog provides an easy-to-use checkbox. To tighten up security a little bit more, we might as well disable all the plugins. Other browsers, such as Internet Explorer, rely upon the Java Control Panel to manage the applet plugin. The lower left of this tab indicates that the plugin is enabled, thus reinforcing that Safari and the Control Panel maintain their own state. In configuring the Control Panel, the first step in the process is to ensure you are not saving any applications that would run within the plugin. Next, you want to ensure that you have the latest security updates. This is accomplished by always running the most current Java release. As you will see throughout this control panel, Oracle takes security seriously in providing many options to customize the security of the plugin. If you do need to enable the plugin, select the very high security level. Otherwise, disable the plugin by deselecting the checkbox at the top of this dialog. The Advanced tab contains several options, each with multiple settings, and not just for the plugin. These settings should be kept at the most secure level for your needs. For more on these options, please see the Java Security video. As you have just seen, the tools today make it pretty darn easy to protect your system against rogue applets by disabling the applet plugin. With the latest Java release installed and the applet plugin disabled, this component is secure. We're now ready to install PDS. To do this, navigate to trustpds.com and select the Get PDS link. The next page provides downloads for Linux, Mac, and Windows. We'll select the Mac release. The download for Mac is a zip file. When you open it, it decompresses to an Apple application in the Downloads folder. To install PDS, drag the application to the Applications folder. Next, we will navigate to Launchpad to start PDS. If you see this dialog on Mac, it indicates you have hit a Java bug, 80.24.281. As of this video, this bug is scheduled to be fixed in version 9. This dialog is indicating that you need to install a legacy Java 6 runtime from Apple, which is actually a Java Development Kit, or JDK. Whether you see this dialog or not, we recommend that you do install this JDK, as only a JDK has the two commands that allow you to perform the canonical verification of your copy of PDS. And because the Apple JDK is 1/10 the size of the latest Oracle JDK, it's a very efficient way to obtain these tools. To perform the installation, select the More Info button and you'll be directed to a download page at Apple. Should you not see this dialog, please see the PDS release notes for download links at Apple. If you don't want to install this JDK, you may run PDS the Linux and Windows way, by starting the jar file directly or by using the included startup script for Mac. In using one of these methods, Mac users will have 99.99% of the PDS functionality. The only difference will be that instead of seeing PDS icons everywhere, the familiar Java icon will be displayed in a few Mac-specific places. First, we will demonstrate one of the methods to start PDS without installing the JDK. Then we will install the JDK and use it to verify PDS. Lastly, we will restart PDS to demonstrate that it will always use the latest JRE that is installed. To execute the jar file directly, we will use Finder. Holding down the Control key and clicking PDS, a menu will display. We'll select the Show Package Contents, and then navigate through Contents, Resources, and the Java folders. There we will find the executable jar file, pds.jar. Clicking the file to start PDS brings up Apple's Gatekeeper, which warns you that PDS comes from an unidentified developer. Instead of registering with Apple, Microsoft, and everyone else, we chose to use a more universal and also more rigorous method of vetting. That method was to obtain an Extended Validation Certificate, or EV, for the domain trustpds.com. As many of you know, obtaining an EV requires a significant review of the business. Although you could disable Gatekeeper, it's much more secure to individually approve the execution of each third-party application. To do that, close this dialog and hold down the Control key and click PDS again. When the menu appears, this time select the Open option. When we do, a different Gatekeeper dialog will appear. In this new dialog, select Open to inform Gatekeeper that you want to run the jar file. With PDS now running, the first dialog displayed is the End User License Agreement. Please read the contents, and if you agree, indicate so by selecting the checkbox and clicking the OK button. You will then be prompted to initialize PDS in either a desktop or a USB drive configuration. In this case, we select Desktop. After selecting the next OK button, the Welcome dialog will display the current configuration. Shown next to the cursor is a Java release PDS is using. Below that are 3 lines that indicate your default encryption directory, your default encryption keys directory, and also the file where your configuration resides. After defining your default encryption key, that will be shown here also. After clicking the OK button, you'll be presented with the main PDS GUI. For more on the use of this GUI, please see the user's guide as well as other videos in this series. If you plan to run PDS directly from the jar file, you'll probably want to copy or move that file to a more convenient place. Next, we will install the Apple JDK and show you how to verify that your copy of PDS can be trusted. Then we'll wrap up by demonstrating that PDS will not use the Java 6 runtime when a newer Java release is installed. Having seen the installation of the Oracle JRE, the installation of the Apple JDK will be very familiar. Now that we've installed the Apple JDK, let's walk through the control panel to confirm that the Applet plugin remains disabled. With the plugin still secured, we'll now verify the PDS executable. The instructions for this may be found on the PDS wiki. As can be seen on this page, the commands will vary based on the operating system you're on. As we're using Mac, we'll use a Mac command. As the tools to verify PDS are run from the command line, we'll open up the terminal application. The first thing to verify is the key within the PDS jar. To do that, we'll compare the fingerprints of that key with the PDS key that signed the jar. In this case, we're able to verify that the fingerprints match. That means that the key within the application is the trusted key. Next, we want to ensure that all the components of the application have been signed by that key. To do that, select one of the 3 commands under Step 4. What you're expecting to see is jar verified. With the JDK now installed, let's start up PDS to verify that the current JRE from Oracle is being used. As we do this, Gatekeeper again provides the unidentified developer warning dialog, as it has no association between PDS2 and PDS.jar. So as before, we'll go to Finder, select the Applications folder, select PDS, and then hold down the Control key while selecting the PDS icon. Select the Open option on the menu, and again on the Gatekeeper dialog. As PDS has already been initialized, it will start up normally. Since we disabled the Welcome dialog in the last session, we will view the About dialog to verify the current configuration. As you can see in the About dialog, we're continuing to use the new JRE from Oracle. That wraps up this video on installing PDS. We hope you'll be able to trust PDS to protect your confidential information, and also that this video may help you with installing PDS. Thank you very much for watching, and please let us know if you have any comments or questions.